G'day Knuckleheads, Uncle Knackers here. Ever wondered how to do those pesky internal corners on your skirting boards? Well, wonder no more, my friend. Today I'm going to show you how to do it. The secret's out in 3 easy steps. Let's get to work. So what do you need? First of all, a coping saw. Not any other saw, but a coping saw. Notice how the blade's really thin? You'll find out later why that's important. You'll also need a compound miter saw, which is one of these babies. What they can do is you can adjust the back here, do little turns, and the saw goes down up to 45 degrees. Bring it back up again. And also, you swing both ways, 45 degree angles, up to 45 degree angles. Okay, here we go. Step number 1. What we need to do is we need to cut a 45 degree angle on your skirting board. How do you do that? We need to set our miter saw at 45 degrees. Not this way, but this way. Adjust your saw so it goes down to 45 degrees, and you can read that on your gauge. Lock it off and you're ready to cut. Here we go. And there you have it, an open 45 degree cut. Good work. Now it's time for step 2. Let's do it. Okay, step number 2. What we need to do is run down with our saw down this line until we get to the start of the ornate section. Making sure that we keep the saw running as we pull it up and out of the cut. Let's do one. Beautiful. Okay, we're up to the final step. You can see here where I've cut on the drop saw down to that ornate line. And now what we have to do is get our friend, the coping saw, this little baby, and use that coping saw to cope all around that ornate shape. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So step number 3, the final step, is to get your coping saw and just follow the pattern around. You don't need to continually go around in one continuous motion. You can bring it out various times to make it easy for yourself. But the best part about a coping saw is that you can cope around corners if you want to. So attack it from different angles. There you go, that section there out. Come here, roll it around, the next section out. Come around here, and you always cut with a slight back cut. Okay, finish this section here off, come through there, and this little V section there. And there you have it. That's how you do it. See how it's all cut, scribed out. Now I'll show you how that's going to fit to an internal corner. Okay, let's go. Just before I fit that internal corner, I thought this might be the opportune time, just in case some of you guys might not know what's actually behind the wall that you're attaching your skirting board to. I've made this little mock-up. We have stud work, so I've got stud here. This is our typical internal corner. We've got a stud at the intersection of both sides, and a stud over here, bottom plate, top plate. You might be able to see on the camera there where during the framing stage, before the plaster goes on, mark on the slab or mark on the floor with pencil or crayon where those studs actually are, so when you come to nailing the skirting boards to the wall, you've got something to nail to. How simple is that? I'm now going to show you a little trick, a little carpenter's trick that's going to make for a perfect internal corner every time. But remember, don't tell your mates. This is our secret. I'll just throw some plasterboard on just very quickly, then I'll share the secret. Okay. We'll put that piece on there like that. Beautiful. Put that piece on there, just like that, so we've got a nice little corner for our skirting board. Now the trick is that all plasterboard or drywall, there's a recess right about here on the top and bottom of every sheet. So what that means is, when you get your skirting board and you put it against your wall, it's going to kick in a bit down the bottom, and just, yeah, your skirting board's just not going to be square. So I'm going to have a little trick, show you a little trick to show you how to make that square. Take that away. Stay. I get a little clout, okay? And down the bottom, I'll bang it in. Like that. I get my square and run it down and tap that nail in until the nail and the plasterboard are flat. Now when this goes on, it's going to be perfectly 90 degrees to the wall. Okay, let's put this internal corner together. What we need to do is get this non-scribed section of skirting board, put up against the wall, bang, bang, nail it off. We now get our scribed section of skirting board, run some carpenter's glue along the end of it just to make it nice and strong. Slide it in, look at that. That is the perfect internal corner. And in 3 easy steps. Great tip, knackers.